Now, of course, we are getting really excited about the impending the launch of a brand new property here on SABC3, The Insider SA, filled with innovation, filled with incredible South Africans, and of course narrated by Nick Hamman himself. And he is about to enter the kitchen with Kuhle right now. They've got Nick Scott, another Nick, who is the resident chef at the Glory restaurant. They are about to cook us a little fried chicken.
If you're only joining us now, where have you been? Now, earlier on, we were chatting with the narrator of the brand new lifestyle show, The Insider SA, which is launching this evening at 7:30 right here on SABC3. Nick Hamman, everybody. And right now, he's taking us on a culinary journey, might I add, with Chef Nick Scott, who's going to be showing us how to make a very special fried chicken, his own special version of some fried chicken. A very good morning to you, Nick. I'm hanging out with Nick and Nick today.
What a treat, Rose between two thorns.
Nick, how are you doing? And thank you so much
Welcome to Glory.
Oh, it's fantastic. Glory Restaurant out in Melville, Johannesburg. Before we get into it, I think safety first, okay? Some sanitization.
Thank you very much.
Nick, can you please tell us a little bit about what we will be making this morning?
Fried chicken. Firstly, Glory is and has been like a mobile kitchen over the last 2-3 years. So we travel around, we find venues, we collaborate with farms, and then that collaboration determines the menu. This was one of the very first dishes we did, which was a relationship with a poultry farm. And they were growing the best chickens in the country and devising a new way of farming, and then we decided to fry chicken as a way of cooking it.
I love it. And the ingredients, what kind of ingredients are you working with?
All the ingredients of Glory are based on where our kitchen is based, so regional. And instead of looking at your traditional fried chicken, which would be North American in context, dredging in either buttermilk or creams and using dense flours, we have a series of starches which we replace with your traditional flour. And what starch does is adds more layer of crisp. So if you think of like a wafer, loads of layers, flour, one layer thick. So we wanted it light, we wanted it crispy, we didn't want to use sugars, we didn't want to use salts, we wanted to keep the flavor more balanced with the chicken. So we devised a system of a starch for your dredging, so we don't use anything, we just coat it and let the natural moisture seep out and form a crust. Then we do a fry for 7 minutes, and then we freeze it. And that freezes the batter in place.
Oh!
So that you don't lose anything that you've created there, and you freeze it, and that's what it looks like there. And then this is the glaze that's sitting in here. And this is a series of water. This is palm sugar.
Palm sugar.
Which is the sap of the palm tree. And it has a very similar taste to jaggery, which it would be a local Indian-based sugar. So not a refined sugar, not refined salts, gives you more flavor, still full of nutrition, and a lot less on sort of like the front-end sugar flavors. And then here we've got fish sauce instead of salt. And fish sauce is basically the same as you take fish, you dry it in salt, the liquid that comes out is fish sauce.
It's very interesting techniques that you are telling me right now.
I mean, so the way your taste buds work, salt, sweet, sour, and then like heat, and then the fifth one is savoriness or umami. So think like Pringles, Lay's, all that we reasonably can't stop, that's like MSG. This is the natural form of it. So you get savory, saltiness, sweetness, and then here we infuse it with garlic.
I love garlic.
And that just gives it an aroma, and then that gives us a glaze. And then we take, once we've strained the garlic out, we then dehydrate it as a topping.
All right. Chef Nick, I'm ready to get into it. I see that the chicken is already...
So that's just to show you sort of like how it starts off in its infancy with the starch. We've now done the first fry. We'll do the second fry now, and then you just pop it into oil. We use a canola oil, which is super neutral.
And you, Nick Hamman, are you much of a cook?
Yes,
Do you cook a lot in the kitchen?
Hell of a lot, yeah. We've done a lot on the show, my radio show over the years with chefs, and I've got a lot of friends who own restaurants in and around South Africa and around the world. Yes, of course, every day. I like to see fresh ingredients as well. Like I hate, you know, when you buy garlic from a store and it's all covered in oils and things like that. I love seeing fresh things. I love seeing fresh chili spices. This is my life. Every day I'm in the kitchen in some way.
I love that. I try to be in the kitchen. Chef, don't judge me, Nick. I try to be in the kitchen every single day, but it's honestly not practical to be cooking every day. But Chef Nick Scott, you mentioned earlier on that you work with local farmers. What's the importance of, you know, working with some local farmers?
So mainly just quality of produce. If you're looking at just going down to your local grocer and using retail brands and shops, that was, you know, that product or that meat is generally like days, if not weeks old. So besides from a freshness point of view and quality of produce, we work intimately with farmers because we know the history of the animal, we know how it was brought up. You know, so for example, with poultry, if the bird has not been running around, if it hasn't had freedom in its life, that muscle movement creates density, creates texture, creates flavor. If you've just had a bird that's lived in a cage, it's going to be a very bad quality meat.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's very special about Glory Restaurant, which is out in Melville, Johannesburg, that you use local farmers, fresh produce, and also you've explained, you know, the techniques that you use to achieve what we are about to indulge in. Okay, cool. Before we let you go, how long are we frying that chicken for?
It's going to be another 2 minutes, and then we'll just show you how to heat up the glaze that we created here. So, very simple. I'm just going to pour this in. And as I said, this is just the salt, sugar, and garlic infusion. And in other words, that's caramel.
Caramel on some fried chicken. I like a little bit of crunch when it comes to my chicken. So while that gets ready and while we prepare our stomach and our taste buds to indulge, make sure to continue keeping it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But from Nick and myself, Kuhle Adams, out at the Glory Restaurant in Melville, Johannesburg, we will be back to give you a culinary experience of how that tastes. I cannot wait. Keep it locked.